Well, hell, you heard it. You know, oh my God, I'm telling you. Oh, anybody ever just sit and wonder the fundamentals of life? How we're all going around in a big old huge circle. Some of us take it for granted and they waste it. I mean, I've been guilty of it. I'm not as guilty of it like I used to be. I used to be able to not be able to say no. Someone had a crazy idea. Oh, let's go for it, see what it is about. Hello, Mandy Cat. Thank you for the message today. Really needed that. So, has anybody ever, I mean, come on, tell me I'm not the only one. Come on now. Just wonder how far can the mind actually, the depths of it, how far can we go into it? Hello, Benny. I hope everything's well. You had one hell of a live a while ago. That was very, very informative. So you wonder, how do you take and change someone to be somebody that they've never been? Some say you would want somebody who's inexperienced in anything. That way, when you start your training or anything, you can train in the proper methods without having to train over other bad habits. I don't know. Never really thought about it until I had to. Never thought about it until I had to, tell you the truth. Now, I want to do something a little bit different because just to be honest with you, I'm not with the other stuff that's going on. Could care less. Oh, I've got a ton of messages and it's about not today, not tomorrow. Could care less. Like I could care less. Because in the past, she has had cancer, she has had pancreas, she's had all kinds, she's had to have her kidneys removed, she's had to have 5,000 for this. I mean, it's always on GoFundMe. Plus, I mean, she's just a bad person. She's a convicted felon. And I just don't believe, oh, thank you, Benny. Thank you. And kidneys, yes, exactly. And I just don't believe anything she says. I really don't. I don't believe anything she says. I know what she put me through, and I'm not going to forgive her for that. I'm like, there's a wraith out there waiting on her. Okay, let's just say it that way. Now, with that, I could care less. Could care less who she is, what she's about. You remember when Rap was in the hospital? He's having central nervous failure. But you know what? The only way you could get to him was through her, remember? She was setting up her next big scam. That's all she is. That's it. That's all she ever will be. I mean, she's lied about her name, lied about how I came into the picture, and I proved all this wrong. But nobody ever wants to seem to fool with that. Well, you know, when a guy's had enough, he's had enough. And it comes to time when They're just things in this world you just can't let go. No matter how many people you talk to, and they say, "Oh, God, send it to Jesus." Listen, in the Bible, there came a time even David had to pick up a stone. Okay, so we can't just all go out here and never do anything. If we do that, the good Lord's going to probably look at us and say, "Hey, you are allowed to defend yourself, but sometime you're going to have to man up. You're going to have to man up and really put your foot down." Now, don't you believe? I mean, come on now. I mean, I'm not going to just say, you just go out here and you start just taking everybody or whatever, but there just comes a time when you feel it in your heart and you just got to get business taken care of. That's what you got to do. You don't want to get out here and start no trouble or nothing like that. But they've already started it. They've already done the damage and they can walk away with it for free and destroy lives? No, I don't fucking think so. Not my life. And then they brag about it. And they make thousands and thousands of dollars off your name. That's how they do. So, so whatever happens to rap, whatever happens to him, don't care. Oh my God. 2,500 calories. That is enough. You guys can see what I'm drinking right now. You talk about just trying to force it, like literally. Somebody just said something I believe I kind of like. I've heard this before, I believe. When a man or woman comes up and starts talking about the weather, grab your wallet, some goes for the internet. Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. You know, it's kind of funny that she would start this and the exact date is something else in the past. So if you keep up with not today, not tomorrow, or what is she? She's been Truth and Justice and Mandy Sandy, aka I'll burn your ass real quick, just send me the money. It's just sad that so many people can't see the truth with that. She even paid this old elderly lady to get up there. To get up there. My daughter's is not named Stephanie. It's named Mandy. And it actually said it. So I don't even know what in the hell we're referring to and what we're talking about. So with that being said, guys, look, I have nothing for her. Nothing for her at all. Okay. So please don't message me about her talking about she needs Jesus or whatever. Yeah, she needs a lot. She does. She does. And after all this is over, I'm probably gonna need a lot too. But it's that's just when that time comes. But she has defied the odds in ways that I think she is Fred Hill said. Oh my good God! You talk about making me spit $3 worth of this stuff out. Holy hell! Hold on a minute, I'm about to choke. Okay, that's a pretty good one. 3 line dubs. And these people who call people, oh my God! Wait till you see what she actually is. Let me tell you how many prisoners that she has on the hook, thinking that she's getting them out and they're going to move in with her and they're going to have kids and babies, and she's not telling them the whole facts. She plays them. There's more to this, guys. When you guys understand this, there is more to it. So think about it. Oh my God. The conversation I had with her ex, oh my God, it's gold. It's gold. It'd take me a few minutes to find it, but I could easily pull it up. I just actually talked to him here about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And I'm thinking, I'm like, are you kidding me? Oh my God. But she stayed on the same lines as what Jimbo was doing about trying to say that I'm gay and that I'm bisexual and all that. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be straight out with you. If something like that, like in them pictures of what Jimbo had, and didn't he admit that that was his stuff here the other day or something? Somebody said they had that. But I'm going to be honest with you. If something like that ever came anywhere near me, around me, and me not notice it, have you ever seen a cat when it turns around and sees a cucumber? Have you ever seen that? If you haven't, go to YouTube. If you haven't, go to YouTube and just type in cat sees cucumber. Holy moly. Cats are scared to death of cucumbers. He's impotent, of course, in his gear. It is his gear. It's him and Thelma's and their freaky ways that they used to do. Exactly. But I want everybody to see, to get it, to know what it's like when a cat sees a cucumber. Holy moly. They take flight. I'm going to be honest with you. I would take flight. And you haven't seen a highway run like one that I would put in. I'm telling you. Now, a buffet of rubber dicks. Exactly. Exactly, Benny. But I'm telling you right now, these people, they have nothing. They have no foundation. They have no content. They're boring. If someone else's, if another creator's name is not in their mouth, they're boring. I tell you what, Yin Yang, Phil would never beg to differ on that. You know, Rap said he had contact with Phil, but never could produce, right? He could never produce anything because nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened. Now, did I get into it and have an episode with one of his neighbors? Yes, I did. And I'll plainly admit that. I'll plainly admit that. They would bring food from over to the place. They would cook, and they would bring food. And I think it was on a Sunday morning, and it was some pasta. And that pasta, it really just didn't sit right with me. I'm going to be honest with you. Did I take of it? Yes, I did. And it just didn't sit right with me. And I'm going to be honest with you. When they come back over, something clicked. I mean, it clicked, and I just don't know what happened. I really don't. Um, to say that it's controllable at that point, it wasn't. It wasn't. My mind was set, and I had to get out. I had to get out of there. And I know, well, I kind of knew, like, well, I know what the basics of safety and fight or flight, and I could kind of switch it a little bit here and there, but I knew the best bet was for safety was to distance myself, and as I did, yes, Phil came out. He had the papers in his hand first for what we was doing with the charity program. I can show you the LLCs and things, and he actually misspelled and sent in to the state of Tennessee. You could probably look it up because he didn't know what was really going on. This hit me in a matter of about 15 minutes, 15 maybe 20 minutes total. And I'm not one to eat fast. I never have been. I'm actually one who believes in smelling of your food while you eat, because it's supposed to be more nutritious, and it actually helps you gain more muscle. You gain more weight too, as well, when you smell it. So I take my time anytime I eat, especially now when, while I've been sick. I really like, it may take me 35 minutes to eat an egg sandwich, but I take my time. So I wanted to clear that up because I remember bits and pieces of it when I watched the replays. Yes, I mean, I did some things that I'm not proud of. I'm not proud of it all. I was kind of in the road. I was mostly out of the road, but like, it was, at that time it was uncontrollable. I remember I walked all the way to the line. Like, I walked to the line to the next city. I don't remember how much or how long and how many miles it was. It was quite a few. But I do know that I had a full bars on my live as it's going. And I noticed when the city police pulled up, I was hitting like 10, 12% on my phone. And I was kind of coming out of it in a way, but I wasn't. One of the officers threw me a water bottle full of water, and that helped. That kind of helped a little bit. Um, I got a little bit closer to, and I'm trying to get this right. I don't want to mess up with this. I want to say Bradley. Was it Bradley? I'm not really sure. So I got into I guess it's Bradley County, and these police officers. I mean, people was calling left and right. People was looking, trying to get the road signs, and it was just one of those things. Um, Lindsay's husband or fiance, I don't know how he knew where I was at, had drove up a few hours, and he tried to get me in a truck. I've never heard of him, never seen him before in my life, so I didn't know. But when he mentioned Lindsay and he mentioned her last name, of course, I kind of stopped and looked back, and I kind of went over toward him. So I was kind of in a way. I would have probably been okay because I actually got in his truck at that time. But as soon as I did, the police pulled the truck over and demanded me out. I didn't want to do any of that. I mean, I was fine where I was at. So you guys have seen the video. Something like really like when they tried to grab me, it was just like something came over me, and it was the fight or flight, and the fight mode came out. There was two of them at the time, and there was one running down the road to where I was at. So they tackled me, or no, they hit me with a taser first. I go down, I drop my phone. I go down. Did it hurt? Uh, it was a weird deal. I'd been tased before for training, but this was a different kind of deal. As they hit me in the side, the prongs went in my side, upper and lower. So when they hit me with it, yes, I mean, I took the ride. Now, while I was down, they try, and I know, I mean, I know how police do and their cuffing techniques and all that. So I knew if I grab one and roll, the other one's going to grab each other, try to knock go off the hill. But we all went off the hill. So while we was rolling, the other one had the taser in my back, and he was. I didn't really feel the second one hardly. I mean, I felt a little bit of it, but at that time, my adrenaline had kicked. So here they are trying to get the cuffs on me. Lindsay's fiance standing at the top of the hill watching all this. More police officers coming, and they're just trying to get me on my belly to handcuff me behind my back. That's not happening. That's not happening. 5 police officers could not turn me over to get me handcuffed behind my back. Nowhere near did they ever handcuff me in the back. They all ran out of breath. They actually got me up, picked me up, and they seen that I was coming to, and we was kind of talking as we was coming up the hill and kind of saying their dues and all that. They was trying to find their phones and their wallets and their keys. I mean, oh my God. We was a mess. We had grass stains. There was a little bit of mud. It's crazy. So they have a preacher who is actually on duty, who's got his little priest tie on, and he comes over and he's sitting here trying to put his police uniform on, and I can see that under it. And I said, "Well, that's a good man to talk to." And I'm already they already trying to put me up in the ambulance, so they're trying to buckle me in. Well, they're not strapping my arms down, and I just told them that I'm ready for the ride. Let's just go. You're not strapping my arms down. Well, medical didn't want to get back there with me because they thought I was some kind of security kind of risk and things. But now, during this whole ordeal, I've skipped a bunch of times that they dry tased me. It wasn't just one officer just tasing me and dry tasing me. They hit me with 2 different prongs. I had 2 different sets of prongs in my back inside, and then they dry tased me. And even in the ambulance, when I got in the ambulance, the daggone priest, they had turned the the stretcher. They had turned one of the, I don't know, it had like a remote control thing, and it was coming off, and it kind of touched my back, so I kind of jumped. Oh my God. He hit me. He stuck his taser right to my chest and dry tased me, hit me in the chest with it. And here I was again. Like that was probably one that really, because I was near my heart, but that was one that really kind of got to me. And then he stuck it to my head and he was sitting there like, "You move again, I'll pop it again." I was like, "In my head?" But then that's what I said. But, anyways, so I get to the hospital and all is all. I mean, first thing they do is they get me in and they're bringing me water. They're bringing me water. They can see I'm dehydrated. I hadn't had no water in hours and hours. It was hot, and they they did blood work on me. They did a blood work on me, and because they really wanted to know, what was going on. Hold on one second, guys. I gotta drink my super energy drink. So YouTubers, yeah, you have to watch out for what all they can do and the danger because they can really put you through it. They really can put you through it. Um, Now, I've had a few different little deals, and it's been bad. And I've not had any. and since January, and I'm proud of that. I appreciate that. I really do, guys. And most important, my so guys, I understand the messenger. I'm okay talking about this. Okay, I'm good. I'm really good. Trust me. As a matter of fact, it's good therapy for me. It's really good. It's good to be able to talk about the past, no, and just know that that's not me no more. That's not me anymore. It's good. Now, I don't care to answer messages along with this, guys, and it'd be awesome if you, because I just ton of got a whole ton of them, just hit. And I do understand there's a lot of people who have very, very sensitive feelings about this topic, and I should have done the trigger warning, but I didn't. So, but what I want you guys to understand is, no matter in this world, whatever happens to you, whatever you endure, it only makes you stronger. That is a fact. It only makes you stronger. You know, I look back. I look back in different classes that I've been involved in, and I'm like, you know what? Never probably ever used this stuff, but we, continue through it. Anyways, now I'm kind of looking back and saying, you know what? I can see points in life where these techniques can be asserted and where they can be used. Now, some is mentality, mentality techniques, some is physical techniques, some is more, psychological. And yes, guys, mental and psychological is a little bit of difference in it in the way the words that I'm using because you can actually attack one's mentality. You can attack one's mentality, especially if they're not strong. You can, and a lot of YouTubers do this because they don't know really how to attack anything else. All they know is how to attack someone's mentality. Now, after that, psychological. Have you ever heard of psychological warfare? It's very, very dangerous. And if it's played right, it can be very deadly. Now, back in, let's say a few years ago, I had a friend. He passed away, but he would play psychological warfare on people, and he would do it to where they would just kind of give up on life. But that's how he got to them to get through to what his ultimate prize was. It may not even been them, but he would get them out of the way by creating what we call doubt. Now, I have changed the way I think about things. I used to be able to, I'd give anything just to be a part of something that was great for the communities. Now I'm kind of a person who stays out, stays away from things. I watch it, I go to it maybe, but I don't assert myself into it anymore. As a matter of fact, people say with certain conditions that your life kind of changes overnight. And it kind of does. It really does. It kind of does. Now, I've been talking to people, a couple of different people, and they've been put through pure hell. But they've got so big of a heart. They're tender. They don't want to hurt nobody. They don't want to hurt people's feelings. To be honest with you, that shit went out the door with me. I will be the first one to tell you to go fuck yourself. I am not a law abiding citizen. I'm going to be honest with you. Now, do I go out and just break the law? No. But do I believe everything about the law is correct and all this? No, I don't. And if you don't like that, you can gladly unsubscribe because I'm not that no more. Do I have friends who are police officers, sheriff's department, state police? I mean, just yes, I do. But I do not believe 100% that line anymore. I am not. I am not that person. Now, will I always uphold protecting women who have been beat, battered, abused, raped, trying to help children? Yes, that's me. 100,000%. Because there was somewhere back in the day that I took an oath, and that was in sequence with that oath. Now, getting that out of the way, if you come to me and your kitten's stuck in a tree, don't expect me to help because I won't. Just to be honest with you, not, and I'm being sweet as I can, but I'm not going to help. I'm not going to be there to grab the cat. I'm not climbing a tree. I'm not getting it out. I'm not getting it out. There's no way. I may shoot the branch that it's hanging in and it fall and somebody hopefully to catch it. This is me. You know, I wouldn't do that, but I'm just not that guy. But if you come to me sincerely, and I've got a few people who ask about getting a sex offender, a registered sex offender out of their house, and I did. I helped them get someone who was not who was registered, but he hadn't been compliant. And here he is with her granddaughters, and she's not even knowing what's there. So when they pulled him out of the house, they found jugs all around, under his bed. You know what was in those jugs? You know what was in those jugs? Piss. Piss. I mean, he had a bathroom. So what would you be doing with 30 or 40 jugs just laying around with piss. And you'd been there 3.5 to, I think it was like 4.5, maybe 3.5, 4.5 months. Who does that? Is that not sick? Can you imagine the smell? I mean, can you imagine the smell? Piss. Now he's in the same house, or he was in the same house as these grandchildren. So yes, he goes to the rocking chair, sits. What does those grandkids and what does those kids do? They go and do what? They sit on his lap. Now, I can show you this guy. I can show you this guy. 70-some-year-old, sick. Very, very sick. This guy happened to be in my hometown of Harlan, Kentucky. Now, the lady states that she had no idea anything about what was going on. And she was at the grocery store, and someone kind of put a little buzz in her ear. And she said that she knew me from the past and knew that I dealt in things of that. And I went to the NSOPW and I looked him up. Sure enough, he had not been compliant. The age of his victim, that's what hurts. How can you do something like that to a child? And the thing about it is, they wait, they wait to right before they hit puberty because they don't want no hair anywhere on the child, boy or girl. They like them young and clean. Hair is a disgust to them. They hate it. The majority of them, predators, hate hair. Did you know that? And I may get this number right. I may get this number wrong because it's been a while since I taught this. But up to 78% of predators, when they're with their victims and they abduct their victims, before they do anything, they shave for their victims. Do you know that? Before they have anything sexually to do with them, they shave them if they have hair. Imagine that. See, people don't get to tell you that. People don't get to show you that. McClicklick Pop does more than one RSOs in your hometown, just to be honest with you. And if you look up the NSOPW, put your zip code in there, you'll see probably 50, 60 right around in your 4 mile radius. So, I mean, it's sick. It's sick. So, can you imagine having a victim not of age and all the sick things that come out of their mind, out of the sick things that come out of their mind? Because that's what happens. That's what exactly happens. The little girl that was found in Johnson City at the gas station, well, police actually pulled up the van. She had chains on her. She had chains on her. She didn't have no panties on. Her dress was ripped. Blood was on her legs. Now, this was, I think this was around 2017, 2018. So I used to look at Tennessee and I would look at it. And Tennessee would, okay, so who blocked Ruffles? Why did Ruffles get blocked, guys? And if it happened, it happened. I don't know if it did or not. Oh my God. I don't know. I'm not control of this. I'm really not. I mean, if somebody blocked something, they might have thought somebody was saying something out of the way. Okay, so I don't know, but I'm not going to get interrupted again. So during this time, they done an investigation. They were trying to find this little girl's parents. They do prefer light skinned kids, blonde hair, light skinned. And there's a many of reasons for that. I'm not going to go into it because it will lead into some crazy stuff. And to be honest with you, some of this stuff is just, you want someone more of a inside touch to talk about it. And I just don't feel that that's not my pay grade these days. So I try to stay away from that. I mean, North Carolina had one of the biggest rings. Preachers, radio person was caught. The radio person got fired from the radio. No. It was a news. It was a news anchor that got caught. It was a preacher that got caught. It was a ton. It was a ton of religious people. And what they was doing, they was bringing children to this place, and they was letting dogs, animals, and they was the bestiality stuff. Now, okay, so you have this sickness that's here, that's going on, but you never think about all the other sickness and evil that can go on into that gate. So they set up a sting operation on this, and you guys can look this up. You guys can look this up, North Carolina. You can look up parks. You can look up all the stuff that happened. The ring that they caught from North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia. It went into West Virginia, parts of South Carolina. 40 people that was arrested, and they had these connections. And yes, it was on apps that like Griff uses, Grinder. We all know Griff uses it. Do you remember Griff sitting there and all of a sudden, well, what is that? It's like doo 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 or something like that. The only sound that ever sounds like that. I don't even think you can YouTube it. I don't even know. Did you see his eyes? Well, shit. Yeah, yeah, your shit got packed, bro. How fast? How fast did he delete that live? His eyes told the story. Now, I was going to say this, Griff, I have nothing for you, could care less about you. I've never believed anything you said and never will. You're the kind of person that said, and yes, here's DNA is what we need. It was all over the clock. And he's sitting here zooming in on his fucking old grandfather's clock and swearing up and down there's drops and drips and all this. And I'm sitting there like, okay, okay. But he's an idiot. And then the next day he's like, yeah, why don't you just tell us what happened, man? And we'll just go from there. And I tell him, I'm like, okay, cool. And I say it, and he's like, okay, cool, that's all right. And so it is what it is. And I mean, I'm not too familiar with all of the details and all that goes into that because I was never there. Never was I there. Didn't know anything about it, as a matter of fact, until after it happened. Now, with that being said, it's just so sad that these creators they try to get a financial gain off someone else's sorrow. When I was in court, I was hurt. I was hurt bad because I had to relive a nightmare that had happened 6.5 years earlier. That was one of the hardest things of my life. I had been through so much. And when they brought up some of the things that they brought up, and they brought up stuff that was like on a laptop, and it had this profile that was created, but they don't show anything about the profile, and they say it's me. Well, the fact of the matter is that laptop had been in possession of Shelby's girlfriend for 5 months prior or something, or even, I don't even know, years. Actually, it was years. It was years. I was like, you know, when I got ready, we was using that. I was using that laptop for hockey mask. That's what had hockey mask and stuff on it. When I got ready to get that laptop, I had left it in a backpack. Well, somebody got it out of that backpack and put it away. So I took the backpack thinking, the laptop's in it. Never really, because I never hardly use it. Never hardly used it just to do mask. So when I got ready to do, and I think it was, oh God, I'm trying to remember the name. Will Berryman's. It was one of his masks, Friday the 13th mask. I was starting on it, and I had all my formulas and stuff. They didn't talk about all that. So when they opened it up, or when I opened my backpack up and seen that my laptop wasn't there, well, I know the only place was, where I left my backpack, and I had to go get it. So me and okay, so Pam Stidham, and as I said her name, we worked together. We had worked together. She would work night shift, and I would work day shift, and we would switch out. So she would pick me up and take me to work. And then as she was coming, she would go to sleep. And then she was coming back in to go to work. I would go over because we worked in Barbersville. And yes, we helped run an illegal gambling operation. We sure did. We would collect money from big dealers and cards, and we would give out thousands of dollars a night. One of the worst places you can always get robbed at. So they hire these gamers and people that. So how you do this is you learn the police. You learn the police. What police is paid off and what police is not paid off. Just to be honest and straight out with you. Now, am I going to give names out? No, I'm not. And once they get their cut, or the department or whatever gets their cut, you're good. So that's how that works. Plus, if the man owns the whole city, pretty much, I mean, you're going to be good anyways. But people need to understand, some of these things that, like I've been part of and I've been involved in. So remember, there's always these secret corners. There's always these secret corners in with these career moves. Things happen. Things happen. So everything is a gateway. Once you get trusted and trust is established, you move up. You move up. James Collins found out that we was, doing that, and he was trying to run his own gambling thing. So he tries to get in with some of the big wigs, and they test him out. They test him out. So next thing you know, they put him in charge of one of their operations. And about 3 weeks to a month goes by, and the whole back end of the place gets pulled apart. The latch is gone, and everything through the night on Jimbo's watch, games and everything was taken. Nobody knows what happened, right? And who's left with, well, I don't know what happened. Well, Jimbo was. So there's a lot of dirtiness that you don't know. I mean, people only know people from YouTube and what the few hours that they get to spend. Few hours that they get to spend with people. Did I ever do anything dirty to someone? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did. I did, and I'm ashamed of it. I'm ashamed of it. I'm really ashamed of it. A guy taking too much money from one of the new females that was working. She had paid him $2,000 when he's supposed to have 1,000 because he had like she didn't give him his 1,000. He was inside playing pool. They came in. They locked the door, and I was over watching the door. And they told me, they kind of brought me over to the side and they said, this money's not adding up. She did not, she gave him 1,000 and then he tricked her into getting another 1,000. He said, so right now we're going to ask this man for $1,000. And he said, you're going to be the one to do it. And he said, if he cannot supply the $1,000, we want you to take and do whatever's necessary. I was scared. I was afraid. Because here I am looking at this guy over in the corner that's playing pool. So first thing, you take your deep breath and you start measuring them up. You always measure them up. And I'm looking at him and he said, hey, big man. He tapped me on the back of my neck. He said, also, I'm going to let you know, he's raped a bunch of kids. That's all I needed. That's really all I needed. So, walk back there. The words that he had told me, that he had said to me, another guy walked beside of me to kind of like guard everything in, let nobody could get away. It was going to be just what it was. And I said, sir, we've counted the money 2 or 3 different times. You have been overpaid, and you owe the establishment $1,000. It's already been counted and looked. And when he came up, and I seen that he had meth mouth, and his teeth was just raw. I mean, like just all that. And as he came over, he turned around, and he had the pool stick in his hand. And I said, well, at this time, I said, can you, return the $1,000? And he said, I never got but $1,000. He said, and we was like, no, she actually paid you $2,000. And it kind of went on a few seconds, and he kind of done a little smirk, like, because I'm a little guy, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm not 6 foot. I'm not 6'1". I'm a little bit over 5'8". 5'8". Back then, I was probably a little bit about 5'9". I'm not 5'5". I'm not 5'4". I'm not 5'6". So there's that. So the first thing I did when he did that is I gave him what's called a 2-piece snack and a biscuit. It's 2 shots to the ribs and a hook to the jaw. And I swear, one of his rotted teeth shot across the room. It was nasty as it was. And as he fell, and he just kind of like bowed out and fell out. And I took my boot and I stomped him about 3 times. And then they was doing this right here on my back, and they said, whoa, that's enough. They got him up. They picked him up. They opened the front door. And it was that relief. It was that relief that I got from that. I didn't want to do this job anymore, but I wanted to go into something that was kind of like this. I wanted to do more with it. And I did. And if you look at my license and you look at for the bodyguard stuff that I did, look at the dates. Look at the dates. It's around the same timelines as the dates that I work for this organization. Now, I want everybody to understand that. Now let's go back out to the laptop. Some way, there was a fake Lifeout account. I never knew what Lifeout is or what it was until I actually Googled it and found out what it was. But this is back when I was working in Sullivan County Communication, because Eric Rush had texted me, look at your new profile. So I knew that's where that came from, because he would make all kind of fake profiles. After a while, you're trying to get them deleted. I mean, you can only send in so many reports. There was more. There was a ton more. It wasn't just Lifeout. So I never knew anything about this. I never knew that Eric Rush co-inspired with Jimbo Collins, which he did, because I had him on video or I had him on audio when I was doing the convention. Jimbo and Eric Rush have talked to each other on the phone before. They have. Fact. Now, I look at the way all this stuff is tied in now. It doesn't bother me as bad, but if you go back 2 years when he came over and Kemper did what he did, you have to understand that these people, they came over to destroy me. They destroy me. Just everything I did, anything. They wanted to make sure that people didn't believe anything, and I was a liar, I was this, I was that. So it still kind of bothers me, because if you want to look at guilt, look at who can't keep someone's name out of their mouth. It's not me. Look at who lives are all about that certain person. All you got to do is go over there, scroll down on his lives, and then there you go. Someone said something very important a while ago. I didn't get to see it. The most important weapon in the world is your brain. It is. It's your brain. Now, if you look at some of these YouTube people who are Jimbo subscribers, if you knew who these people were in real life, you would see exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go down the list. Let's go down the list. Let's really go down the list. We have Beth Dutton. Beth Dutton. Identity theft, forgery. I mean, who would you want to steal's identity? Tell me that. Whose identity would you want to steal? Commit forgery? Holy moly. Think about it. Multiple accounts of this, guys. I mean, and also writing bad checks. I forgot about that. All these YouTube creators have got a bad check. You don't see no bad check on me. You'll never see a bad check. You see a couple things on me, that's it. They're all misdemeanors. Have I been charged with any felony, or have I been convicted of any felonies? No, I haven't. And I never will be. Now, even Jimbo, his record, bad check. Because they want that money so bad, they're willing to do anything and everything to have it at that moment. See, a lot of people don't believe that, but it's true. Oh my God, this stuff's so good. I'm telling you, to put a pound on you every drink. Ask Jimbo how many times he called the prosecutor secretly. They have a love connection. I don't know what David is. I don't know what day it is. If it's Jimbo rub him, or him rub Jimbo day, but they do have a little love connection going. He got him on speed dial. But it is what it is, guys. Anything and everything that they can try. It's just like I said once before. Everybody wants to beat everybody to the punchline without even knowing the real facts. People grab at anything and everything they can get. You can't do that. You can't do that without actually having actual facts. No, Dave, I don't think anybody said your name tonight, but I'll gladly give you a promo shot here. Everybody subscribe to Imp Dave, the emperor looking dude. I have no idea about that. I'm least concerned about that at the moment. If they need it, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to obtain it. I mean, there's too many people that's already went online, and with Nicolina, she's I got it. It's at my front door. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You know what? You're not getting it. Ha 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 ha. Well, there's something that's needed in that, and she destroys the evidence. Well, I mean, it is what it is. So a lot of people, a lot of new creators, they come up to me and they're like, how do you have a following? How can you get 200, 250 people in your chat? So look, I never expected, when I came to YouTube, I never expected to have a following like this. Never, never did I. Have I lived up to the name that when I came to YouTube? I haven't. I haven't. I haven't got a chance. I haven't had a chance to live up to any name because I didn't know how to separate myself from life, from YouTube. I didn't know how. Did I run with a lot of things? Yes, I did. I ran with a lot. When it was, oh my God, like I used to have 400, 450 people in my chat. I mean, just pretty much every live. Jimbo was patting me on the back of my shoulder. Hey, bud, send some of them, send some over my way. We got it. I just wish I'd listened to that little thing on my shoulder, my conscience, but I didn't. I had a heart, and that's what I want to. That's what kind of want to show you guys tonight. If I would have never have gave like just pulled all those people over to him like that, I probably would never been in the situation that I'm in now. Just to be honest with you. Just to be honest with you. Let me just say something, Wilma. It ain't really what you know in life, and you need to know a lot. You really need to know a lot. But when you come into backwoods places of rural areas, a lot of the judges, a lot of the lawyers, a whole lot of the principals, they're connected. So that's why there's so much in this world that a lot of people will never ever know. So am I one? I am one. I am one. I've been. I mean, I don't. I don't share a lot of this information out there. I just don't. I never had to. Never ever had to. And my papa. Oh my God. My papa. He went into the. Let's just say I'm not even going to say what organization it is or whatever. But he went into this certain organization and he was in it 35, 40 years on up to his passing. And yes, they do things for the community that sometimes the law enforcement don't they miss. Sometimes they miss things. Um, no, that's not true, Matt B. 43. That's not true at all, as a matter of fact. As a matter of fact, they have one choosing of a higher power. That's them. Now, I believe in God. I've always believed in God. I'm not going to be like Jimbo. Go to church, drive a church bus, say, Lord, help us. We're going to church, pray, and do all this other stuff. When at the same time, I'm turning my back and I'm damning this person, I'm damning that person, I'm doing this to that person. I'm calling this a whore, I'm calling this a slut, calling this a bitch. I'm not doing that. Because if I do that, I am no better than that piece of shit predator. And I'll never be that. Right now, in places like Laurel County, Whitley County, a lot of those places, Jimbo really did get fired because they do not want people of a background like him. Do you think he goes in? Listen, do you think that he goes in and he throws his little resume out there and he's like, country boy Jimbo Collins, PCW 4-year champion in a row, shows this picture of him, a little mask on, shows the head and shoulders picture, literally the head and shoulders picture. And then he shows his basketball stuff and, oh, I got this championship. Does he mention, hey, y'all, can you imagine? Can you tell us a little bit about your history? I mean, you've been married, how, still, just going into that. You think, yeah, before I was married 30 some years, I'm married a 12-year-old. I just want to get that. Because if he'd said that, he would be ejected right then on the spot. He would be ejected. No matter what Jimbo does. Look at it, guys. Look at the map. I'm not a math expert. A lot of people have left Jimbo. Jimbo would pull 230, 240 in chat, right? People pulled away. Nicolina's people has to come in now in order for him to reach his 240, 250 in chat. Think about it. He's a flip-flopper. Guys, he's only in what's good if it's got green in it. That's it. If he thinks he's going to make $1, oh, he's all for it. He's all for it. He don't care about anything. He don't care about anything at all. And you've seen him blow up. And I've told you all, watch him. They got to watch. Because what was the lesson? What was the lesson a few weeks ago? People tell on themselves. What happened after that? Oh my God. Things started tearing away. Tearing away, didn't it? Tearing away. And there was nothing nobody could do. It started unfolding. So what did Jimbo have to do? Or Nicolina made it first. Listen, fact. Let me spit this to you guys. Fact. Nicolina says, yes, we're going to be working with Jimbo. Everybody in the chat, if Jimbo's people here, is kind of lighting up, right? First thing, what did Jimbo do? We're not working with Nicolina. We're not going to be working with Nicolina. We're not going to do it. No. Kemper's like, I don't know what you're getting at. What did poor old Constance Sue get? She got gut punched. She got gut punched so hard her depends fell off. Now, do I agree with Constance Sue? Sometimes I do. On other facts, no, I don't. Now, she got gut punched so hard, the tears, and I felt bad. I felt really, really bad. And then no matter what she said or what she did, they brought Leslie C up there, Kemper, Jimbo. What did they do? They had a feast out of her. No matter what she said, no matter what happened, she couldn't get anything in. She was dog meat. That's what they did to her. Then what happened? What? Come to Jesus moment. No, before that. Bringing Beth Dutton up, trying to turn the crowd with the rap deal and the Smoky Mountain Mama deal. They tried to churn it a little bit like churning butter, mixing and matching, pulling the ones that's going to believe, and for the ones that don't, the hell with you. Then has come to the Jesus moment. Why can't we all be friends? Lord, good God, why can't we just get along? People in his chat looking like, wait a minute. But there's dumbasses out there like Kim Louise who will keep feeding him super chats after super chat after super chat. I don't care. I could care less. If she's got it, she's got it. But there's other people out here that they see the stand and he brags about family values and this and that. And then just the other night, he brings another kid up. Well, I made this for Scruffy, This is for you, Scruffy. We got Big Daddy over here, and he makes a little special for him, and he's like, "Now go get in the bed," But look what he did to Sammy. Play the song, showed him flexing his big arms and all that. Most of it's round as fat, round as a shape. And, showing him he's holding the belt, kids around his waistline. Sick, very sick. When I did wrestling, you'll never find a picture of me. You'll never find a picture of me with kids up around my waistline and letting them hug all over me. No, I did not do that. Jimbo, he gloated in it. The more children, the better. He would have people bring children and they would worship him. The parents, oh, you the It was the most Mickey Mouse General Hospital shit I ever seen in my life. Only thing I ever seen that came out of good of that wrestling is when somebody Irish whipped. An Irish whip is when you grab someone, you sling them into a corner, and Jimbo falls halfway, and then he gets up halfway, and he throws himself like the ghost or something. He throws himself into the corner, which he don't even hardly make it because Jimbo can't jump that far. You're looking at a 16 by 18, or 16 foot by 16 or 18 by 18 ring. So you can imagine from corner to corner, it's a little bit long. So you can imagine Jimbo's not jumping those 16 or 18 feet. I'm so sorry. It's just not happening. That is not going to be happening. I mean, he could take a double take. If he had Mario's powers and could double jump, son of a bitch is not getting 16, 18 feet. Sorry. It's not happening. Hello, innocent until proven guilty. I want heart to touch. Was sitting back watching. Okay, cool. I'm glad. Authentic people of virtue do not advertise and remind. Okay. I'm trying to read all this. Sorry, guys. It is a big smoke screen, guys. But if you don't see it now, family value while eating supper separately from the family. Yeah. And his pickles has to be sliced. His onions have to, or wait a minute, his onions have to be sliced just so thin. So what I'm saying is obvious, Ernie. You're Jimbo's cash cow. His subs give hate money. They do. And I'm not worried about it. I mean, I could care less about it. Jimbo's going to walk in one of these days, and he's going to meet a race like no other, and that's a fact. That's inedible. Seriously, that is not going to just be. I mean, that's going to happen. Jimbo's going to have his day when he can say whatever he wants to. Now, by this time, I'm going to be honest with you. Jimbo's deteriorating away, guys, and I just don't think Jimbo has much long these days. I really don't. Uh, he he's bad off. I mean, he's bad out and everything. He's had this surgery and that surgery, and his because all you would have to do, people, is one good jump kick, and his neck's going to grow 2 inches, and it's going to be over. I don't know what all would happen. Just to be honest with you, I mean, I'm not trying to be threatening or anything. I'm just telling you, people like that can't fight. You seen him? He was going to break bad like Rip. Ooh. I mean, what was he trying to do? Was he trying to pull off Rip, or was he trying to pull out the Macho Man? I mean, I was waiting for him to go, ooh, yeah, but I didn't hear that. So poor old Imp Dave, I, I don't blame him for what he did. That was some of the funniest stuff ever. Now, I'm here an hour and 16 minutes, and I don't really want to go long. I just kind of wanted to get my point across. Just getting my point across to everybody. And I just think we're kind of getting out of this next month, going into the holidays. We're kind of going into the holidays, and I just think this year is going to be great for the holidays. I just think it's going to be amazing. It's going to be something that's just that you just don't want to miss. I mean, I really don't want you all to miss it. Mashed potatoes. Oh yeah, it's going to be a lot of mashed potatoes. But look how many lies, and I've not even got to hit Nicolina tonight. I've not even got to hit her. So many lies she's already told. Can't back up anything. Well, I've got proof. I seen the police report, this and that. It's got so and so on it. Show me. Show me my name on a police report that you have that tells me that I can't be around kids. Now, when you show me that, I'm probably going to eat my words. I'm probably going to take my thumb and my fingers and just start chewing and eating on them because that does not exist. Nicolina, if you had that kind of presentation, you would have already wet yourself trying to get online to show everybody, but you don't. You don't have that. You never will have that. We ain't going nowhere, Lonnie Taylor. Well, I appreciate that, you all. I really do. She lies all the time. She does lie, but that's just her. That's just what she does. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to be like some other creators I've heard. I work a lot these days, and I hardly get to see what really goes on YouTube. I have a few people that text me, but I have a ton of people who sends me screenshots and screen records, and sometimes I just don't even know, when I'm sitting here looking at it, I don't even know where to even start at with it. Ernie, I charged through at 170.75 speed, so could have missed it. But what's happening with Jimbo's legal? Don't have any clue about Jimbo's legal problems. I'm not the one with that. Wrong creator. Never said anything about Jimbo's legal problems. No. Now, could something be coming in the works? Possibly. We'll see. We'll get to see when we cross that. When that gate opens, that will, that's when all that's dealt with. Right? Because here's the thing. If you put the cart in front of the horse, well, the cart's going to roll back and probably hurt the horse. So we don't want to do that. We never want to do that. Always have the horse in front of the cart. That way, all your documentation, all your information's in that little cart, and you've got a nice steed ready to pull. From your tone, I'm grinning. Well, I mean, I'm grinning too. Good God, I bet Gary's tearing Rap's ass up right now. 12:09. Good God, the hour, Lord. God Almighty. I wonder if he washed his hair tonight. I just wonder about crazy little things. I just wonder. You reckon he's got some head and shoulders? I just wonder about. Look, that's nothing to make fun of, guys. I mean, there are such thing as head and shoulders. Yeah, they call him Harry Gary, I believe. I'm not even sure. I've heard a couple different names. Yeah, I've heard there's a couple different guys. I heard Tyler. I've heard Gary. I've heard of Marcus. I've heard of a few. But who am I? I mean, who am I? It ain't like I know anybody, right? I don't know nobody. I'm all a lie. All a lie. All a lie. So he's got Bubba around his head and shoulders. Boy, I bet he's got his mouth full and his never mind. Yeah, damn, I'm evil. I can't believe it. I can't believe I've turned this way, guys. I really can't. I'm crying. I just ain't got long hair to throw at my eyes. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. Not gonna lie, I about pissed myself that last laugh. It kind of about just forced its way. Getting old these days. You know how like they say the golden years. I hope to God I'm not hitting on that. Lord, good God. Hello, Life's a Dance. I'm glad you kind of stumbled in here. That's good. I'm glad to see you. Bar up with hate is toxic. It affects the body. No, look, let me tell you something. A little bit of toxic getting in, you can clear the other bad bacteria and other toxic out with it. And it kind of just pulls it all out. My crap's getting pulled out right now. Boy, I bet they're using that hair right now and they're using him for the horse. You think? The cart's on his back. I can't do this. Oh God, I'm just gonna have one right here. Lord Elizabeth, I'm coming. Oh Lord. I'm literally gonna probably go. This is I mean, I could really lay into this. I just spit out my Pepsi. Well, you better watch out there in California. Those Pepsis are kind of high these days. So that's what my liver and kidneys are for. Well, I'm telling you, mine's bad, so I don't want to do too much. Lord, let me make sure I got my superpower juice over here in case some shit goes wrong. He's going to throw his hair out his window and climb down. Well, maybe he's trying to do that. Let's see. What was that Disney character? Come on, now, come on, let's go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little creature. And come on, let's think Rapunzel. Rapunzel's the one that had the long hair. Can you imagine throwing your hair out a window for a man to climb up into your bedroom window? Disney, what are you trying to do here to these people? What are you teaching? You're talking about the crazy. You're talking about Disney. You want to put up something like that? A girl throw her hair out a window so a man can climb up. Lord, that's kind of a Lord, if people really thought about what it meant these days, good God Almighty. But we grew up to these stories. Maybe if he isn't watching it, they should buzz it all off. Well, can you imagine when you don't? Look, I knew this lady at one time. Now, I was drunk when I knew her. I'm going to lie, I was drunk. But she was one of those people who never washed her hair, and you could tell it. But when you're drinking, back in the day, you don't care. You don't care what their hair looks like. Hell no, you ain't interested in that. As a matter of fact, the more you throw down, Lord, good God, the better it looks. Especially if you start getting closer to it. See, I started from the other end of the bar looking down. Now, Lord in heaven knows I've not got really the best eyesight these days, and who knows, it could probably be corrected, and I may have it corrected in the next few days, to be honest with you. But back in the day, everybody knows how this works. You be drinking. Well, I don't want to do that, just resting, letting the breathing come out, talking to a bartender, looking around at your options, looking like a big mean wolf sitting there, ready to howl at anything, ready to go giddy up database, exactly, just ready to bite into what you need, right? I mean, this is the way guys are. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's the way, it's the way it happens. Sorry. Now, am I like that now? No, I'm not like that now. But I was sitting there, it happens like in the movies, same way, sitting there looking down, and I drank a couple more drinks, and I was running my tab up, yeah. And I made good money back then. I made pretty decent money, so I'm good. I could get 3 or 4 drinks in me. Starts buzzing in my head. I look back down, and I'm having to squint. Well, I'm thinking I'm looking through a scope or something. And I'm like, hell, I ain't at the range, but by God, if I squint just enough and look sideways a little bit, that mole on the side of her cheek don't look that bad. When you're sitting here like, oh hell. So you get a little closer. You kind of stubble a little bit. You sitting there knocking your shot glass on the bar as you walk down. Kind of sliding it a little bit, and you get a little closer. You get about 8 foot from her. You look at her, and well, you can't really see the mole then. By that time, hell, it took you 10 minutes to walk down there, and after you stumbled across a couple bar stools, you're pretty good. You needed a paper bag. I've needed a mini paper bags. So I'm looking, and I'm like, where'd all that excess weight go to on her? You guys heard the story. You guys have heard the story. Took her to the hotel. Don't even remember what happened. Remember the one that laid on my arm and about cut the circulation off? And I ended up having to heat a clothes rack, having to fire a clothes rack up just to stick her with it so I could get my arm out from under her. Y'all remember that? Remember me telling you that story? I heard it was coach and probably substitute. I don't know nothing about all that. Who cares? But I heard he did get fired, and he's kind of emotional about that, which he probably should be. But you guys remember that story? Emily remembers it. Emily remembers a lot of my stories. Emily's an Indian, by the way, everybody. Everybody say hello to Emily, the Indian. Oh, so I was literally stuck up under her, and I couldn't get loose. And I'm going to tell you right now, the closest I ever come to death because my circulation was getting cut off and I thought I was going to lose my arm. It felt like somebody had put a rubber band, secured it around my arm, and it was just going to fall off. There was no getting it out. And she was past dead out. And what I thought is the bar was probably about 145, 50 pounds. No, it wasn't nothing like that. Whatever the hell this was on my arm, it was immovable. And I was strong as hell, especially when I get up. In the morning, I can jump out of bed, roll, do flips, whatever I need to do. I about broke my arm, dislocated my shoulder and everything. But I finally got out. And I'm going to say that's one of the closest things that ever happened. I finally was able to take my boot string and knock over the clothes rack. And one of the ones happened to be wired, and I actually pulled it over from the floor. I couldn't do nothing because I couldn't reach. And finally get it over to me. It took me about an hour. And as this is happening, I'm dying, literally. Like my arm's falling off. But by God, when I heated that thing up with a lighter, it about burnt my face up because I sat there and I held that thing in my mouth and I had that piece of wire in my mouth and I was sitting there holding that lighter to it and it was burning the side of my face out. But I was looking in the side of my face and seeing it was getting silver looking. I knew then it was time to sticker. So I took that thing out there. I rolled the back part of the shirt up and I just kind of, I've never seen nobody move so. Oh, she come up off my arm and my arm did not move. I mean, I was sitting here trying to drag it over side of the bed. I was like, oh, good God. But that's a true story. I mean, that's a real true story. Lord, I didn't think I'd ever get feeling in my arm. I went and got water on it and I was sitting there patting it. Oh, please come back. Please come back. I was sitting there doing compressions on my muscles and stuff, rubbing my arm, trying to make it work and everything. I was going up and down with my, doing all the good stuff. Finally, I felt a little bit of feeling. And it took a while. Never again did I drink 151 bourbon. That never did again, never would, because that stuff can change you real fast. You can look at something and it just not be there anymore. So I'm just wondering about all this stuff. So guys, I mean, I took enough time. I took enough of your guys' time. I've got a few things. Well, I've got actually a couple more files I need to kind of file, and kind of got out of work a little bit too early today, and I feel good. I really feel really, really good, and I just hope everybody else feels good as well. I just really want everybody to be happy for what's ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude this. I don't want too many people to miss the sit. But much respect. God bless you all. And what is it we always say? What is it do we say? Come on now. Who knows it? Come on. We gotta stay with that. We the people. Ain't that the way it goes? We'll protect women and children, right? The big thing is at all cost. That at all cost is so much, guys. Means so much more. Take a step into my world and you'll see. Thank you. Thank you, Mandy Cat. I appreciate it. You're awesome. Thank you, Gypsy. I appreciate you. So if you guys want to know how content is made, be original, be yourself. I couldn't just come up to you guys and start talking about this unless I endured it. So think about that. Watch these other creators. They have no idea what they're even talking about. They come up with stuff on the fly. And it's all about degrading someone. Now, did I degrade anybody hardly tonight? A couple people, yes. But I stayed on the path of what my subject was about. No matter what they do, no matter how bad and what they change, I will always be the narrative in this community. Remember that. Doesn't if I died, I am still and always will be the narrative of this community. That's just the way it is. When it comes to anything with it. Now, I look at Summer Wells as a separate part of that because I don't look at being in the Summer Wells dealings. Yes, I was in for a while, but we all know I got out. I got out of it. We enjoy the stories. It's a breath of fresh air. Hearing dramatic screaming, calling others like doing. I want heart to touch. Can you please hit that thumbs up? Well, I appreciate. Oh my God, somebody just sent me a message. Well, I appreciate that. You can send $2. That's fine if you want to send $2. Yeah, I'll buy me a biscuit in the morning. Yeah, I'll get a biscuit. Thank you. That's cool. Yeah. Look, I don't believe in creators not getting paid. I don't, I'll never will be against that. If they put their hard earned time into something to make you laugh or be informative about things, yeah. A good tip, $2, $3, yeah. Take your time. I'll never be against that. People say it's grifting and it's grabbing and all that. They're jealous. They're jealous. Really, they're jealous. Seriously, they're jealous. There's nothing wrong with tipping creators. I don't know how many times I've said that. Nothing at all wrong with tipping creators. Always remember that. We get 12 cents a commercial. Well, hell, I don't get no cents a commercial. I'll never be monetized. Think about that. How you think I feel? I'm the main narrative, and you can watch this live. After this over, I'll have more views than the stand will have in the hours allotted. Watch and see. That's the way it is. Go look it back at my other lives. You're going to be amazed. Can't beat me. He can't lace my bootlaces. Come on now. That's the thing. I actually have boots. I don't think he does. I don't even know if he would even know how to put a pair of boots on. I mean, Lord have mercy. But anyways, guys, always do what's right for people and just be there. So I'm going to get out of here. Have fun. And again, I went over about 15 or 20 minutes. So let's always play. What we want to play? Let's play our song, Never Surrender.